Welcome to the Thaiger and another one of our conversations with Ben Hart from Integrity Legal. Hopefully a series will continue to update as new issues come about. Ben, a lot of people, they want to stay here, but they, for whatever reason, are unable to find a long-term visa that suits them. So they think, well, that's okay. Every 30 days I'll just trot off to the nearest border and do a border run. I am under the idea that that's no longer that easy.
Yeah. Okay. Not to go too deep into the history of border runs, but yeah, back in between 2000 and 2010, I believe it was about 2008, there used to be prior to that where you could literally just live in Thailand doing border runs. Every 30 days, just go over. And you would see a lot of folks that lived up country near the borders. That was how they maintained their status. They didn't want to go see immigration. They just go over to a market in Laos for an hour and come back into Thailand, get another 30 days. That has gone. That is over and done with. They had kind of an interim system where you could only get 3 of those every 6 months, and then finally they phased it out. Currently, I believe the Royal Gazette stipulates that most nationalities can get 2 border run 30-day stamps, but after that, it's not prohibited, but it's frowned upon. Let's put it like that.
You might get away just once or twice.
Right, and then on top of that, bear in mind the conditions under COVID have radically changed the border run.
Right. So, I mean, from November the 1st, 2021, there was a situation where they opened the borders with fewer restrictions.
Right.
But that still doesn't allow you to just cross over to Cambodia or Laos and come back.
No, and the minute you cross the border, you may be subject to quarantine requirements of the receiving state as well as quarantine requirements coming back in. As a practical matter, I would say going into and probably throughout most of 2022, we're probably not going to see land border runs as what they were before. Now, with the reduction of the overall quarantine associated with air travel, so-called air border runs may be a little bit more feasible from here on.
So in theory, you could go to Suvarnabhumi Airport, you could fly to Malaysia and get a stamp and come back. That may be a possibility?
I would say going into 22, we're looking at that being more possible. Now, something that does not at first glance seem to pertain to border runs, but should be thought of, immigration has a lot more what would probably best be deemed temporary discretionary authority to convert visas compared to what they had prior to the emergency decree of 2020. So immigration, in a sense, the feeling is there's not the real exigent need for border runs right now because immigration probably will be able to sort you out. Now, I would add a specific caveat here for folks watching that the special tourist visa has what I call a hard out on it. So those who are looking to come into Thailand and be here kind of long term, that don't necessarily love the idea of a non-immigrant visa, and they're looking at this special tourist visa, yes, it has a 9-month validity, but that's it. Once you use it up, you cannot convert it in the country. You've got to go. So something to keep in mind is, when you're coming into Thailand, it may be possible to not even need a border run right now, but there is, with respect to the special tourist visa, you don't have a choice. You're going to have to go at the end of that 9 months.
You will read from time to time people who say, look, I just went over the border and I came back, or I flew here and came back. You are going to get some situations and some stories, and they're probably going to be well shared on social media. But be aware that it may not necessarily be either 100% legal or certainly not something that is repeatable by you. So if you are wanting to extend your visa, we'd probably recommend that you at minimum go and visit your immigration office and discuss your situation with them, or speak to a visa agent or a lawyer if you want to stay here. But I suppose the bottom line on this is border runs, maybe not in the future. I don't think it's going to be a really well-used practice, probably for most of 22. Okay. Ben Hart from Integrity Legal speaking to us on the Thaiger, one of our Thaiger stories. We'll sort of continue the series. Maybe even under the description you could say to us what you think you would like us to cover. Ben's always got plenty to say just about anything regarding visas and the law here in Thailand, because you are a Thai citizen basically.
Yeah, no, I'm a Thai national. I have Thai nationality, and to be clear, I'm a lawyer licensed in the United States. I'm not licensed under the Thai bar, but I do have Thai nationality. That's
He can even sing the Thai national anthem, which I find very clever. Right, Ben, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and thanks for having me.
Ben Hart from Integrity Legal on the Thaiger.